Friday night lights, more like football at sunset, but high school players were back on the field for some spring sports. And along with it, some safety measures were required for the first matchup between two Metro West rivals. Newton North took on Natick in a scrimmage.
Now, of course, there were those safety accommodations, but as Nick Emmons shows us tonight, that did not dampen the excitement that players have been anticipating for months.
There was no football on Fridays last fall. Now a spring season hopes to make up for a lost season. But like most things these days, there are some noticeable COVID safety measures in place. After a rough 2020, high school football is back.
It actually feels really great.
I mean, it's weird. That's the first year for most of us in like 10 years we haven't had a football season in the fall.
Natick hosted Newton North for a scrimmage ahead of their first games of the season, and these players couldn't be happier to be back on the field.
Being with our teammates and friends that we've grown up with playing, I mean, that was probably one of the better things.
I like just being out on the field with the team again, just because it feels like a sense of normalcy.
But there's still the constant reminder of the pandemic. Safety protocols require everyone in this contact sport to be masked up.
It's definitely different and new. It's a little harder to breathe, but that's just something you get used to the more you play with it.
We're getting used to it. It's definitely tough sweating and stuff like that in the mask, but we're getting used to it.
And something that has taken some more getting used to, socially distanced celebrations.
I guess the hardest thing is during the competition is to remember, you can't high five, you can't hug, you got to spread out and all that stuff. That's kind of the emotional stuff is difficult.
It's a team sport, guys want to celebrate.
Right.
Head coach Mark Mortarelli says practices also look different, with the team broken up into smaller groups.
So we try to do a lot of our practice when they're in their mini teams. In case there is an outbreak, we can trace it quickly.
Other adjustments include virtual team meetings, no locker rooms, and even fewer players.
Football usually we have like an 80-man roster. This year, we have 45, so practice is a lot different.
Despite the challenges, these seniors are just happy to have one more season with their teammates, even if it feels a little backwards.
Usually our season starts warm, gets cold in the playoffs, but it's going to be opposite this year. You're going to start cold and kind of warm up towards the end.
Natick kicks off for real next Friday. In Natick, I'm Nick Emmons, WBZ News.
Nick.